Alright, hello everyone. I am drawing more Pokemon from memory, but this time around I am doing Pokemon from the Johto region. So, without further ado, let's see which Pokemon I am going to be drawing. Okay, Aipom. If you have seen any of my videos any of my Pokemon tier list videos for Gen 2, then you will know I love Aipom. Aipom is one of my favorite Pokemon. Which should mean, I should say, that this should be easier, but I also feel the pressure of oh, if you claim you're an Aipom fan, well, put it to the test. How well do you know him? And so, yeah. Okay, so we started with the head. I'm sort of thinking that I'm just gonna do, you know what? I'm just gonna erase this real quick. I think I'm gonna do instead of looking off to the side angle like I did with Drowsy, I think I'm gonna do facing forward. But I'm gonna turn on the symmetry thing, just so that I can because his head and his body are symmetrical, and so I think it'll just help me to have some symmetry so that things aren't skewed in one direction or too lopsided. But okay, that is not a good shape. I actually think the shape that I drew before I turned symmetry on was a little better. But yeah, we're starting off with the head, which I know to be, is oblong, the word, oval-esque, this general shape, I think is pretty correct. I think I need to correct this bottom part right here just because it's a little too, okay, I think that's better. And then we have two pretty big eyes that I think are not think, I know are on opposite sides of its head. And so, am I making them too big? Let's not get too concerned with proportions just yet. But okay, I think this looks good. And another, I would say, recognizable feature of Aipom is his always teeth out smile. I don't know if I've ever seen this is I never went through this phase as a child, but I remember, relatives of mine who did when they were younger, where when kids don't really figure out how to smile with their eyes and they just smile half-heartedly with their with their mouth, but their eyes just look plain. It kind of had that creepy, kindergarten yearbook picture smile. But I think so far this is correct. I think, let me clean up the eyes a little bit, but I think I'm on track. I feel pretty confident, but I don't want to get to oh, and I know this and this. I have a general image of Aipom in my head, and for a while I used him as a profile picture. So, I mean, I feel if I used him to represent myself, then, okay, this is adorable. I think this is accurate. This looks really cute. Okay, we should probably do his ears, which I think are just I was gonna say ear shaped. That doesn't say anything. What would you call this shape? Is that right? Why does this look like I'm drawing a monkey from a different cartoon now? Maybe I drew them too high. Maybe they're just on the side of his head and not so high up. Hold on. Okay, I went in with I was okay, I have to prove that I'm a real Aipom fan, and now I've sort of depleted that confidence. Did I just draw the ear in the same exact spot? No, I think that's correct. Right? I'm gonna act like it is. There's something missing about the face. Does he have that sort of like raccoon thing where they have like an outline around their eyes? Because I know it's like his main colors are. Oh, that looks cute. I think that's right. Or does it go around his mouth? It's like his main color. That looks like a monkey with goggles on, which is actually kind of cute, but I don't know if that's correct. No. I know he's like Apom is only 2 colors, so I'm not like that concerned design wise because it's pretty easy. But I don't remember where the beige goes. Something about this feels less correct than the eyeball thing. But it looked like he had goggles on, so what am I supposed to do about that? I think I'm gonna move forward with this for now, and if when I continue with the rest of the design, if it doesn't feel right, then I'll switch it back to like the whole raccoon eye thing. But I'm starting to feel like this is the correct thing. I'm just trying to imagine him in my head, which I guess is the whole challenge. Is what is this? His body's sort of just like a little round monkey. You know what? I think his body's a little smaller than that, but I liked the shape that I drew, so let me do the selection tool, and we're gonna bring this in the slightest bit. Oh, this is adorable already. I feel like I'm knocking this out of the park. Okay, and then he has his I think Apom's limbs are pretty simple, they're just little round. This okay. I will. Yeah, I know I'm just praising my own drawing here. This does look adorable, but I can't remember if Apom has legs, legs that separate his feet from his torso. Do you know what I mean? Because some Pokemon it'll be leg or foot sticking out of torso, a la Pikachu. Pikachu is just torso and feet, I believe. Okay, this looks funny, so I'm gonna go with it. It's like a bit of a mischievous monkey pose, which I guess is accurate for what I'm drawing. I mean, I don't know if Apom's mischievous, but I would have. Okay, this is so cute. I feel like I'm knocking it out of the park right now. Okay, and then I know that Apom's hands are sort of just kind of like that. Is that right? I feel like I'm leaning with this ovally shape for everything. I did it for the head, I did it for the ears, and I did it for the hands or arms, whatever. And I feel like maybe that's correct, but I feel like I'm overdoing it. I don't know. I actually think this is really cute. No, there's something different about his ears. I think his ears have a sort of a cinnamon roll swirl, swooped in them, like this. I think that's right. Okay, I need to draw his tail, and so I'm gonna have to shrink him down completely because I want to sort of I'm sort of imagining his tail curling outward. Okay, I have to turn symmetry off. How do I do that? Yes. Okay. I'm imagining his tail sort of like coming out the side. Maybe I should make the brush a little thicker. I have an idea. The tail coming out the side and then sort of looping behind his head, right? And then hold on. start like getting all like tongue-tied and tripping over my words when I feel myself getting defensive, but it looks kind of wild right now, but I can assure you there is a vision. See, look, and then so it's like you can imagine it goes whoop, and then no, maybe I should do it like this so that I can like, yeah, because I won't be able to fit it up there. And then his like tail paw thing is just like a big palm. A palm. Oh, maybe that's why. I've never really put that together because it's like ape, like, you know, simian, and then palm, like palm, and then it's like three little like fingers, or not fingers, but they're, well, no, not little, I mean, they're kind of like bulbous. I think that's it. Okay, you can kind of tell that the angle of the tail doesn't really make sense right here, so I need to correct it. Hold on. And I'm sure this is a detail that is not all that important, but for my sake, I just sort of want to correct it. Okay, I think that's better. It looks a little stiff, but I don't know, there's something so stiff about the tail that I'm not liking. Maybe I should, like, am I focusing on details that don't matter? I'm gonna stick with the whole, like, it coming out from behind his head, but I want to sort of, like, add a little more, like a stronger groove to it, if that makes any sense. Because it looks sort of like, I said the word stiff, you know how I feel. Is that better? I feel like it's sticking too far out now. Let's just take that part and then, there you are. Okay, that kind of worked out way better than I thought it would. The whole like selecting it and bringing it back in. I forgot to bring this up in my last video, but in case you were wondering why I don't do white backgrounds, I sort of gotten into the habit of doing some sort of like I still don't like it. What if I like did it like this? And then, hold on. We gotta work some magic here, my friends. Come on. Hold on. One. Oh, it's a little too. Okay, why don't we like that? That's a million times better. Okay, I like it a lot more. But I've gotten into the habit of doing like pretty light colored backgrounds, but ones that aren't white. Because it sort of I think helps things like, I think black and white is too strong of a contrast, and I think sometimes, I think this looks better, like if I'm being honest, but once I start getting into line art and working with whites, when you have a white background and you're filling things in or drawing things white, then you sort of lose it, and so this is like a helpful way for me to like distinguish like what parts have been filled in or whatever. I hope that makes sense. It's not like, it is not something I made up, obviously, but it is a method that I you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Use. A method that there was another word that I wanted to use, but use will suffice. I just need to work on the tail just a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna, instead of leaving it like filled in like that, just because I'm gonna have to do lines for this, I think it makes more sense for me to sort of like just, maybe it's way too big, start carving out the, you know, like the, where the lines would go technically, you know, and then that way I can follow those, because I could just draw like both of the lines constantly parallel and following the curves, but that's, I feel like, a pretty difficult. And so, you know, I think this works. It makes sense, I think. But stylistically, I think I'm gonna go for the same sort of like without lines style, like without line art style that I went for with Drowsy, if that makes sense in my last video. I think it looked cute and it was different, and it's a style that I was pleasantly surprised by. It's not like one that I use a lot, but I think it works for this sort of silly, haphazard. This is, okay guys, this looks adorable. This, I think, captures the energy of Apom. I sense him. I sense this is correct, you know? Okay, I guess it's time to get into the lines. Okay, let's do another layer, and then we'll lower the opacity. I think 30 was probably good. Okay, let's see if this brush, it's a little thick. Let's make it a little smaller. Actually, no, it's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and trace over this rough sketch that I have, which I could, I guess, technically turn the symmetry like tool back on, but I kind of like, I don't want it to be too perfect is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I think even though the symmetry tool, it comes in handy a lot for when you were drawing things that are, well, symmetrical. I like to then just do the line art without it, because I think like the sort of like inconsistent or imperfect, well, that worked out pretty good. I didn't expect that to come out the first time, but I think some sort of like inconsistencies or imperfections in I guess the art makes it feel a little more like fluid, or a little more like, I don't know, I think there's a charm to the you know, wonkiness of it sometimes. But yeah, it helps to get, the symmetry tool helps to get sort of the main thing down, and then after that it's like I don't want to rely on it too much, but it is very helpful. I'm not gonna act like I don't use it whenever possible, because it really comes in handy, as you saw in this video. See, look, the feet don't look exactly the same, but I don't mind. I don't know. I think there's something kind of cute about it. Okay, now let's do the little, is this mouth bigger? I mean, where would I fit it? You know, I guess I sort of put it where it can go, and so it's not like I have much of a choice of where else, you know? No, that doesn't look right. Let's give that another try. Oh boy, things were going so smoothly up until now, and now I'm like running into the issue of not liking how the mouth is turning out. I'm like not, sometimes like when you do, at least for me, I feel like when I do, like, you know, multiple, that's good enough. Like when you're doing like the whole, like, you know, sketching and forming things with a bunch of lines, I think, I don't know this, you know, technically, so take this with a grain of salt. But I think when you have like the rough sketch, like line art, I think your eyes are sort of, or your brain and eyes in tandem are able to sort of like choose which ones they like and decide, okay, that is the line art. I don't know, maybe I'm making things up. I'm just like, I'm trying to, maybe I should just use the circle thing here. I don't know, I didn't know, the eyes being that like perfectly circular just looks off to me. I wanted to like, I'm really, I sound so inconsistent, or like not inconsistent, but I realize that I'm so like all over the place and that I like want it to look a little funky but not too funky. And so I guess there's like a, we'll see about that. I can always correct it. But I guess there's a, what I'm realizing is there's a fine line for me when it comes to, you know, how you know, funkiness. How much funkiness am I willing to allow? And yeah, but I like this, you know, as you see, or as you saw, Procreate lets you do like perfect circles if you want it to. But then I'm just sort of like, I don't know, like it looks a little too clean, and then it starts looking like I don't know, like corporate clip art. Like what's that one art style that like a bunch of okay, this is starting to look like a child's drawing. What's that one art style that like a bunch of like brands started using like early 2020s? Like it's called like Allegra or something like that, where it's like those big chunky bodies and then those small heads and like sort of indistinct features. I hope you know what I'm talking about and that I don't just sound so like, I don't know, online by knowing about that. Okay, it's looking a little rough. I think maybe instead of trying to do it all in one go, I can just connect the pieces. But yeah, I think when maybe I shouldn't go and say that my art's gonna look that way if I do perfect circles, because now I'm sort of like leaning in that direction. Because like I don't think I hate how the eyes look. I just don't like, I don't know, it's starting to look too much like a children's drawing, and we're gonna leave it for now. But you know, I just have to trust in the process, because you know there was several. I don't like how that swoopy came out. Swirl, I guess. There was plenty of times during the drowsy, like drawing drowsy from memory thing, where I was just like, oh, this is turning out bad. And I ended up liking it, and so I think, you know, I have to trust that this will turn out good too. And even if it doesn't, well, who cares? It's not that big of a deal, I think. But I will tell you, I think drawing Pokemon from memory is a lot more challenging, but I enjoy the challenge, because, you know, so much of my content is Pokemon oriented, and so you would think, you know, okay, well, if this guy's always talking about Pokemon or always playing a Pokemon game, you know, does he know what they look like? Like, how good is his memory for this? And so, okay, I tried not to like psych myself out during that process. I think it turned out pretty okay. I don't know. I was just talking about earlier how drawing two parallel lines is pretty hard. This looks kind of silly, but we're gonna keep going with it. I'm not gonna give up. So I think I'm gonna pick what colors, like what purple and beige I'm gonna use, and then yeah, we'll continue from there. Okay, I have my little color palette off to the side. I don't know, I feel like these are pretty accurate, I think. I am a little like questioning whether I went to like if it's too red of a purple instead of more of a blue purple, like a too plummy maybe, but I kind of like how it looks, so I don't really mind. I know that I'm correct in that it's purple, and so, you know, it'll look accurate is what I'm trying to get at. But I think design wise I'm pretty on there. I think like one of the details that I'm questioning right now are the like arms and feet and the ears, just because I'm not like entirely convinced that I got that part right. but like it I said it before, it still has this like essence, and so I feel like it's correct. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not wrong is what I'm trying to say. Or well, no, but whatever. Okay, then let's do the beige parts. Well, that really jumps out like from the background. And then I know his tail palm is also beige, so let's go ahead. And all I do, if you were curious how I'm changing the color of the line art, is I just alpha lock the layer and then I color over it. So there you have it, if you were curious. And I guess I have to then make the eyeballs and the teeth all white. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out without having any sort of black lines to distinguish what from what. Okay. Let me just duplicate this layer in case I need one. I have a really bad tendency of like, oh, I might need blank, and so I like have like when I do art, I have so many duplicate layers, and like I'll just turn them off because I'm always worried that I'm gonna like mess something up and that this color is not right. Wait, maybe it is, hold on. But I always, you know, I have the tendency of making a lot of duplicate layers out of fear that I'm gonna mess something up. Oh, mess something up further down the road. Okay, let's see. I'm really struggling with this purple. I think I'm gonna change it. It doesn't feel right to me. Okay, I think this is, oh crap. Wrong layer. Let me just, you know, scribble over that one so that I know. I think this is a better purple. Something feels wrong here. Like it feels like there's not enough beige, but I'm not entirely sure where else. Oh, does he have like a tummy? Oh, crap. Okay, let me just, I guess I'll just like freehand one. He definitely has like a little like tummy. I think, you know, looking at it now, it doesn't feel, it doesn't feel wrong. I think that's it. I just feel like there's beige missing somewhere. Like, are the ears? The ears aren't beige. Are the hands beige? Or no, that's not what I keep doing this wrong. Is this correct? There is. No, that looks scary. What about his legs? No, that's not right. Okay, I think it's just the belly. I think I'm overthinking it. Okay, let's now. Okay, we can un-alpha lock this. Let's do a shading layer. I don't want it to be too dark because the purple's already pretty dark. But yeah. Okay. I've landed on the color that I want to use for the shading. So let's start, you know, I guess just like putting in, should I do it like all the way across the neck, or like just shadows where shadows I guess would be cast, but also that helps separate like one part of the limb from the other. Do you know what I mean? Because again, I'm not using actual lines to distinguish or to communicate like shape, and so I sort of gotta be smart with does that look great? Looks good to me. Be smart with the shadows and sort of place them in areas that help you know what where things end and where things start, I guess, is a easier way to say that. I did it a lot thicker on this, or on the left side, so let me. I probably overdid it now. Not really, actually. Okay, let's. That's pretty good. We can just do. Okay, I need to clean up the the layer because there's just like some stripes of black lines underneath around the feet that I did not cover, and it looks sloppy. So worry not. I will clean up after myself, I promise. And then we can just do a little swoop-de-doop. Oh, okay, I overdid the swoop-de-doop. Is that good? Okay, I undid it again on accident, but I actually think the thinner version of it looked better, so there we are. Not too prominent of a foot shadow. Should I just like? Yeah, I actually like that. Do I need one on this side? I don't mind it. What do you guys think? Okay, oh god, I just looked at the waveforms. I realized no, I actually don't like the second one. Just the one behind the heel. Yeah, that works. And then we can do a shadow right here. And that's why I keep one of the copies of the black line art like on low transparency so that I know where the lines connect. And it's sort of easier for me to just draw then a shadow right there and boom. Okay, this is looking not that bad. Should I just like, I guess, draw his ear swoop-d as like a shadow? I think that's right. If he doesn't have an ear swoop-d and I'm just swirl and I'm just drawing one in for no reason, I don't know. I'm not as confident that that's correct anymore, but who cares? Well, I do, but I like it, you know? And I'm sure you guys are gonna love it. Okay. So light would be coming from up. So let's do a little bit of that. Beautiful. And then we'll do a little ba-doop and a little ba-doop. I'm not even saying anything, I'm just making noises at this point. Okay, that's good. And then we'll do one last ba-doop right here. And you can kind of figure out where each toe is separate from the palm. Let's do a quick turning this off. I should probably bring this line all the way up. Hold on. Okay, that's better. And I can do this a little. Okay, I like it. I think, whoa, the teeth look crazy. And so let's maybe just draw those in as like a shadow. Ooh, a shadow as well. And then let's see. Yeah, that works. Okay, I said it a little too enthusiastically. It sounded like I was trying to convince myself. But like, I feel like his face is missing something. Like, I like how this looks, but should I do like, okay, let me alpha lock this again. I need to clean up the spots where there was like random patches of the underneath color over on this ear, over here, just cleaning them up. A little bit there, a little bit here. Okay. I feel like something is missing. Should I just like, okay. I'm sort of taking creative liberties here, obviously, but I just feel like he needs, oh, wrong pen, or wrong brush. I feel like he needs like a little, like something, you know what I mean? Like just a little blush. He's a, you know, shy monkey. That looks kind of cute, but let me try doing it as like ovals. that looks adorable. Okay, hold on. I know I'm compensating for probably another aspect of his design that I got wrong. Oh, I did not get those symmetrical. I probably should have. You know what? I will turn on the symmetry tool for this because otherwise it's going to look not good. Okay. But, I feel like I'm probably compensating for an aspect of his design that I missed, but I don't know what it is, and I think that looks so freaking cute. At least it does to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a. Should I do like highlights on him or no? Oh, I feel like I should add some shadow to separate his ear from his head. I think that's what's missing. Okay, let's add some. Or I think I need to turn this layer back on. Let's add some shadows to the ear just so that there's like some level of separation, because otherwise I think his head looks a little too like, I don't know if flush is the word, but it just looks too like uniform, like too connected, which yes, obviously his ears are connected to his head, but like, you get what I mean, I hope. I don't want to be presumptuous. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. Yeah, I think this is. I still feel like the purple is too dark, and I'm like, I'm wanting to make it lighter, but I don't know. Okay, I was trying out a bunch of different purples. I think this one is the purple. This looks way more accurate than what I had before. Let's turn off this little color palette. I think I feel like I'm I don't know. I feel like I'm ready to lock in the design. I mean like, should I add highlight to it? Let me try real quick. Okay, let me do this. I started doing it and I'm like, oh no, I don't like it, but I was like, okay, give it like a little bit more of a try. And so let's whoa. I did not mean to put that much on the ear, but it doesn't look bad actually, so let's say that was just whoa, I did way too much. Okay. Undo, undo, undo. Okay, let's try that again. Let us Yep. I don't know what this persona that I've taken on of just making not real noises, or not real words, and just making noises and pretending they're words. Hold on 1 second. Is this adding anything? Am I just wasting my time? Like, hold on, let me turn it off and see how different it looks. Actually, it does add some dimension to it that I like. Let's do it too, and I think these will look better too. I'm sort of being, I'm taking creative liberties with where this light would go. Okay. I think the problem that I'm having is I feel like the face doesn't have any sort of shading or contrast. And I think as a result, I think it looks wrong. Maybe if I add like shadow to the eye, would that like make any perceivable difference? Like, no. Okay, I think I'm overcompensating. We are going to lock this in as the APOM design. Let us get rid of the background so we can see it better. Okay, there APOM is in his full glory. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think it's pretty accurate, but now I'm going to look him up on my phone. So hold on. Well, I guess you don't have to hold on. I just have to reach for it. Okay, let me we're going to look up good old fave of mine, Apom. Okay. I am realizing, okay, the first glaring mistake that I made was not put a tuft of hair on his head, which I don't know how I missed that, and it would have made this look a million times cuter because he does kind of look like a Teletubby right now. And I forgot to make his. There was more beige, and the beige was in his feet, but I left his feet completely purple. I'll say I was like probably 80 to 90% accurate on this one. I feel pretty good. I feel like for some and the ears. It's not a swirl in the ears. It's more beige. Okay, so yeah. My Apom design was missing a lot of the beige that makes, Apom. But I don't think this was awful. It just sort of looks like a Teletubby, which is really making me laugh because I was like convinced. I was like, no, this is Apom. Like, you got him down. And now that I'm looking at him, I'm like, this is a Teletubby. But anyway, I feel pretty good about this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had fun doing this again. So, I guess maybe in the next one I'll just do Gen 3. I don't know. But for now, that is going to be it. I hope you enjoyed. I said that already. Anyway, until next time. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. I don't know why I struggled with this outro. Alright, bye.